In this video, I would like to introduce the new features in the QuaHill Business Management System, version 7. And since there are quite a few new features, let's get straight to it. The first new feature I would like to show you is the ability to attach a vendor's invoice file directly to a vendor invoice. In previous versions, it was of course possible to create a vendor invoice, but if you received, for example, a PDF invoice from a vendor, it could not be stored in QuaHill. Now it is possible. And the file can be added by both the project manager and the vendor as well. In order to store files attached to an invoice, a folder where the files will be saved must be defined in the global settings. The files are available in the invoice detail under the Files tab. Files can be added, deleted, opened directly from QuaHill, and saved using Save As. As I mentioned earlier, the invoice file can also be uploaded to the system by the vendor when they create a new invoice in the vendor portal. The second new feature I would like to show you is the linking of a quote with a CRM activity. It is now possible to set up a trigger in the system that creates a new CRM activity when the status of a quote changes. A typical scenario is when you send a quote to a client, change the quote status and want to have that reflected in the CRM activities. When I change the quote status now, the system automatically generates a CRM activity. A column with the quote code has been added to the list of CRM activities, and the quote code can now also be seen in the CRM activity details. As the third new feature, I would like to introduce the system audit. We have significantly expanded the logging of changes in the system. Now for projects, clients, vendors, invoices, quotes, sales activities, and user details, we log information about what changes were made and who made them. Information about insert, update, and delete operations is logged, as you can see in this list. The details of what changed can then be viewed in a separate panel on the right. To access the system audit, a user must be granted a separate permission. The permission is called System Audit. We know that in the case of larger agencies, the System Audit table can contain a large amount of data. To avoid impacting performance, it is possible in the global settings to limit how long change records are stored in database. Another new feature I would like to point out is the shared online chat between vendors and project managers within projects. For example, if it is necessary to share instructions between the PM and the team of vendors working on a project, the project chat can be used. This chat allows real-time communication, similar to what you know from Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, and also supports uploading files to the chat so that others can download them. In the operational code lists, you can define chats that will be automatically created when a project is saved for the first time. A chat can be defined for project managers only, for project managers and vendors, but without allowing vendors to send messages, or for full communication between PMS and vendors. Whether the QuaHill client is connected to the chat hub after logging in can be seen in the bottom right corner. Without this connection, the chat will still be available within a project, but you will not receive notifications for new messages, and real-time communication will not work. On the Chat tab, you can specify which vendors have access to which chat. This way, different groups of vendors can receive different instructions in separate chats and so on. Now we will demonstrate how the communication looks in practice. In one window, we are logged into the vendor portal. In the second window, we are logged in as a project manager in the QuaHill client. You can see that when the vendor sends a message, the project manager is immediately notified and can respond. The project manager can also see whether the vendor is currently logged into the vendor portal, that is, whether they are online. Likewise, as soon as the project manager sends a message in the chat, it immediately appears on the vendor portal. Another new feature is a change in the behavior of vendor inquiries. It is now possible in the global settings to specify that a job will be automatically assigned to the vendor who responds to the inquiry first. If you set which status should be applied to a closed inquiry, then at the moment the inquiry is assigned to the first vendor, this status is applied and the validity date of the inquiry is ended. This makes the inquiry unavailable to other vendors. The second to last change I would like to highlight is an update to the dashboard, where in addition to the raw data, a chart has now been added that shows the trend of turnover, margin, and percentage margin over time. If the agency has multiple departments, you can view data not only for the entire agency, but also for individual departments. In the settings, the user can specify how many years back they want to see in the chart. The final new feature I would like to mention is the integration of RustDesk directly into QuaHill. RustDesk is an application that allows us to remotely access your computer when you need assistance. You just need to contact us, provide the ID and one-time password, and we can quickly and efficiently connect to your computer to help you. Thank you for your time. That's all from me. We hope that the new version of QuaHill will make your work easier and more efficient, and your life simpler. We wish you a great day.